Okay, welcome. I want to welcome everybody here today. I want to thank those media sources that have come by today and I guess fighting the cold weather, and all the ice and snow out there. A lot of times the media doesn't really care to hear good news, so I do thank those of you who have showed up today to hear what is some very good news for the people of St. Charles Parish today. And so, bottom line, I'll cut right to the punchline, is for the past 20 years, during this past calendar year, 2018, in St. Charles Parish here, according to the FBI Uniform Crime Reports, or UCR as we call it, St. Charles Parish experienced a record low of 20 years. We experienced a 12.4% drop in total UCR crime counted by the FBI, statistics, going from 1,659 crimes to 1,454. Let me make sure I got that number correct. 1,659 to 1,454. It's a 12% drop, 12.4% drop from 2017 to 2018. If you look at the chart, again, which we're going to provide to the media, our graphic, this represents, despite in the last 20 years, an over 12% increase in the population of this parish. That represents, if you look at those numbers, nearly a 50% drop in crime, steady over the past 20 years. It's an amazing thing, and there's a lot of reasons for it. And before I get to those reasons, I do want to go over a few of statistics in the different areas of crime. But before also I do that, I want to introduce some guests today. First, I've got District Attorney Joel Chasson with me here to my right. And the reason I have him here is because I can say that the relationship between our prosecutors, which is the DA's office, and our law enforcement agency, which we're the only agency in the parish, the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office, the relationship has never been better. And without the backstop of the District Attorney's Office and his prosecutors prosecuting and following through on the serious crimes, going after the repeat offenders, we could not be achieving this success, because they'd be getting out, as in some cases they have in the past, and committing more crimes. So that is reflected in these numbers. A cooperative effort, a team approach. D.A. Chasson, thank you so much for coming today, and I want to thank you and all your prosecutors for the good job that y'all have been doing. It is really making a difference, which is benefiting the people of this parish. So I also have a lot of staff members here today. While we've got a total of over 400 employees out here, we've got some really dedicated deputies, detectives in all various areas of this office who all contribute to this success, no matter what division they work, whether it's in corrections, patrol, investigations, or records. Everybody plays a role. So I want to thank them, and they're there representing. We couldn't bring in, I wish I could bring in all 400 deputies in here today to stand here, but that's not feasible today, but I want to thank them. We've got a dedicated group, and I believe this machinery of this office is running as well as it has since my tenure in office, which is 22 years. So thank you all, and please be sure we again thank all of our troops out there who are really doing a great job for us. So going through a few of the specific categories of crime, we're looking at first at homicides, and I will tell you up front, homicides are not as far as the volume, are not a big factor in the overall crime decrease. It's important to note, though, that we don't have many homicides. And over the years, you can see we average anywhere from 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. One year we had 5, but usually it's 2 to 3. And I'll tell you, I don't come in here and take credit when we have a few murders, and I don't take the blame when we have a couple more than we normally do. These are things that happen between people. Probably one of the most unpreventable of crimes. We do the best we can, but we've got a good peaceful population. So luckily our homicide rate is low. I would submit it's probably one of the lowest in Southeast Louisiana in these parishes. So we average maybe 2 homicides a year, and that is the case in 2018. We had 4 in 2017, only 2 in 2018. So a nonviolent parish, our violent crime is very, very low. Another serious crime, which while not high in volume, actually went up. One of the very few categories we went up a little bit, but as you can see, it only went up from 3 to 5. These are rapes, and we all know what the general definition of that is. And sadly, if you look back over the years, many of these, although there are not many per year, a lot of these are unfortunately intrafamily sexual abuse cases. So it's not just the mean criminal jumping out the bushes, a random act. A lot of it, unfortunately, is people that know each other. It's intrafamilial, as we saw in the case just last week. So anyway, still low numbers on that particular crime. To me, what is the next most potentially violent crime is robbery. A robbery is where a person, through the use of force, threats, armed with a dangerous weapon possibly, take something of value from another. A lot of people confuse the common lay term of robbery. If you get your lawnmower stolen, you say, I got robbed. That's not a robbery, that's a theft, okay? So robbery is a dangerous crime. It's where a criminal confronts you face to face, possibly with a dangerous weapon, could lead to some serious consequences, injury and death, very dangerous. But the good news is robbery is down from 2017, 42.1%. We went, as you can see, from 38 in 2017 to 22. 2017 was actually a higher than average year for robbery. But we're down to 22, which is a 20-year low in the number of robberies in St. Charles Parish. Another very good statistic, 20-year low. The next is assaults. These can be fights between people, kind of, I want to say garden variety, even though people could be injured. It's a domestic violence situation where there's, some evidence of physical injury, a punch, a kick, whatever it may be. These are typically a high volume crime because, again, it's fair. It can be minor, it can be serious. But the numbers are higher on average. And again, we experienced 588 last year, which was really 20 or 30 or 40 below average over time. And again, another 20-year low in assaults. And again, you go back to 1999, whereabouts, you're looking at roughly a 50% decrease in our average number of assaults on an annual basis. Another indicator that our parish is peaceful and actually becoming more peaceful all the time. We go to burglary. We're very pleased. Burglary is a crime that's very concerning. A burglary typically is when someone breaks into your home or your shed. Not car burglary. That's going to be in the next category, thefts. But our burglaries, as you can see, over the years, back in the early 2000s, were in the mid 400 range, 450, 435, et cetera, et cetera. In the last 4 or 5 years, we brought that number down to 300, under 300. In 2016, 188. It was under 200. It was under 200. And today, again, a 20-year record low, 184 burglaries, which is 184 too many, because we don't like people breaking into somebody's homes or their sheds. But again, it's a 20-year record low, a very good. We'd much prefer to be going in that direction. So again, you can see over the years, the trend is in the last 4 or 5 years, really some serious reductions in crime. Theft could be anything, again, like I gave the example of stealing a lawnmower or something, weed eater left in the front yard. That's typically a theft. Also counted in this, even though under the legal definition of auto burglary, where someone goes into an unlocked vehicle or a locked vehicle and takes something that you left in, that would be a burglary under Louisiana law. The FBI counts it in the theft category. So hence, those crimes are here. We have again reached a record low, 598 in the year 2018, down from 690 the year before, 13% decrease. We've taken some extraordinary steps in this area because, again, auto burglaries, primarily unlocked auto burglaries, were a big problem for us. We put out some posters. I sent a form letter to all citizens in the parish, warning them, asking them, begging them, please lock your car, take your valuables out. That has really paid off for us in the last couple of years. These numbers are showing that as well. And again, if you go back to 20 years ago, we're running half the number of thefts that we were running 20 years ago. Despite, again, as I remind you, a 12% increase in the total population of the parish. I think finally, the last category we keep track of with the FBI is auto theft. Auto theft, of course, is what it sounds like. Someone either gets into your car, either they hotwire it as they used to do way back in the day, or whatever electronic means they have to do it, they steal your car. We did not set a record low this year. That was done in 2016 when we had only 37. Again, which is 37 too many. We had 55 last year, down from 17, an 8.3% decrease. Unfortunately, our second best year in 20 years. Again, we're looking at 50% less auto thefts than we were looking at 20 years ago. Again, another great trend. And you can see this is not just a flash in the pan. These numbers have been trending. You'll see a few bumps here and there and a few spikes, but they've been trending downward. So the big question I know the reporters always want to ask me is, what do you contribute to this increase in crime? And I got a few things I point to. It's not one thing. First off, we got a great population of people here. We've got high employment, low unemployment, probably an above average educated population, a good high medium wage. All that plays a role in it. But foremost, I can say without a doubt, is the dedication and training of our deputies and detectives. We've got an academy right next door. We just started a new group this week. We have focused on training like never before and have for many years. We've instituted in the last 5 years a total package leadership program which consists of leadership, ethics, motivation. It is paying off dividends. I'm so happy we've done this, and our employees have to pass courses. They have to take phases of the leadership program in order to be eligible for promotions. So we're kind of giving them some incentive and a little pressure to do it, but they're happily doing it. And many of our staff members here today are instructors in that course. That's paying off. You know, it's not all about just being able to go handle a weapon and handcuff people. It's being able to police smarter, to know how we're doing it, how do we work with people, how do we establish relationships with people, how do we establish relationships with each other, and all of that pays off. So our employees, first and foremost, are the great cause of why the people in this parish are seeing this reduction in crime. They're dedicated, they live here, they got the kids here in school just like the rest of us, so they have just as much investment in making it safe as anybody else. I've talked about our training, as you see on the list. I'm very proud of our academy. It's doing great things. Training is the key to success in just about any field of endeavor, and we're doing good there. Effective investigations goes along with training. Our detective bureau, I would match up against anybody. When we have a crime, we have the ability, because we're not bogged down with so much, we're not overwhelmed by crime, we're able to really focus people on it, put extra people on the serious cases when they do occur, such as homicides and robberies. You know, and you saw that again, unfortunately, in the incident we had last week, a robbery with a shooting. Just intensive investigation, quick investigation, competent investigation. We're bringing people to justice. We're giving the DA cases that he can prosecute and his assistants can prosecute and get those people off the streets. The worst of our society, those that refuse to follow the rules and really, whatever, want to commit crime, we're being able to get those off the streets. So that's playing a big role in it. So thank you again, Mrs. Chasson, for your cooperation. It's been better than it ever has been. And we certainly appreciate it, and it pays off. Technology is big too. I don't want to exclude the role of technology. When you look at crimes like burglary, like auto burglary, we have a lot of technology available. We've got a database of citizens who have told us their private security cameras, where they are. If we need to, we go look on the map, we have a crime. We're able to get video footage. Many of the crimes, when you see it, if you go in court nowadays, completely different than when I was back prosecuting over 22 years ago, is now you've got video surveillance cameras that are coming in almost every case. You know, if you've got a burglary or a robbery or even homicide cases, there are multiple instances of video footage, which is all over the place. And again, it's private video. It's not Big Brother spying. It's people that have the right to put cameras in their homes, their businesses. It's a big crime deterrent. So there's no doubt in my mind technology is playing a big role. Our forensics with DNA, we're able to make better cases, pinpoint with more certainty who the actual offenders are, and when you're putting the right people in jail who are committing repeat crimes, what does it do? It reduces the overall crime rate. So technology is playing a big role. The auto theft, and like I said, I love to say, hey, it's because of us we're stopping auto thefts. The technology in locking devices and the ability to actually commandeer a vehicle now is much more difficult. That's because of technology. That helps us as well. So, you know, we thank, I guess, the car industry for that. So that's a good thing as well. Finally, I want to conclude with giving the citizens a lot of credit. We have a very, very connected and interested public here in the parish. You know, if you go on social media, they're very active, they're very interested. I interact with citizens on a daily basis. I can tell you multiple citizens a day contact me with questions, asking for information. You see people putting out information about what's going on in the parish. Many times citizens are seeing things and spreading information about it before we even know about it. I'll have people call me and say, hey, what's going on in Booty? You got 3 cop cars there. I go, you know, I don't know, I'm not there. You're there just as quick as I am. So things are spreading. We don't want to have people in fear, but you know, I think it's helped us, social media, our ability to put out the factual information about all crime. It helps us because citizens are aware, they're vigilant. We don't want them terrified. They don't have to be terrified because our crime rate is low. But every time we have a crime, nobody's scared here to come forward and give us information. They give us statements, they tell us what they saw. Helps us make the case, helps the DA prosecute the case. So our citizens, hats off to you. You are playing a role in this crime reduction and these low crime numbers. So if the DA wants to, if you'd like to say anything, you'll be happy to, and then we'll take some questions from our reporters here.
Sheriff, this is truly great news. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the dedication of you and all of your team in making St. Charles Parish one of the safest places to live in the state of Louisiana. When I took over in 2012, about 6.5 years ago, we met, pledged our cooperation. It's been nothing but excellent working together. that whole time. And I'm pleased to say that since that time, the trend has gone down, overall crime. It's a fact that I'm very proud of, and I want to congratulate my staff for the excellent job that they do as well in working with these fine men and women of the Sheriff's Office to prosecute these cases and bring criminals to justice. So thank you, Sheriff.
We have any questions out there? Anything I would like to ask?
You were talking about the burglary rates in the town, and you mentioned this already. It seems like the vast majority of them involve unlocked vehicles. Is that true? The vast majority of your burglaries are usually cars, and then they're unlocked cars, or are people going into a lot of sheds and whatnot?
Yeah, a burglary can be, it's the unauthorized entry into any structure, watercraft, or dwelling, okay? The burglary crimes that I listed there, those are structures. They are not automobiles.
Oh.
The FBI counts, even though if someone breaks into an automobile and takes something out, that is actually under Louisiana law a burglary. But the FBI counts it as a theft, or larceny as they use the term. So that's in the theft category. So the burglaries are actually pretty much a structure. That's going to be a house, a shed, a place of business. Again, it's way too many, but the numbers, you know, we're sending them in the right direction.
Yeah, you got them down, and that's what, I guess the same question.
Yeah.
In the
But auto burglary.
You're seeing mostly that, I see usually in other jurisdictions that that's the same thing. That theft and that burglary number is 9 times out of 10 is usually somebody's vehicle.
Yeah.
somebody
So yeah, in the theft category, you know, again, which we've been able to bring down, that is probably reflecting a lot of the auto burglaries that are not happening anymore. I mean, we have a few, don't get me wrong, but I mean, in years past, we'd have a string, you know, because auto burglaries, they're going to go from door to door. You know, you may have anywhere 15, 20, I mean, the statistics can really mount up. And so we've been able to bring that down. That's because of the citizens. They're locking their cars. I think finally, we've been begging for years. Heed our advice. Take your valuables out. Lock your car. They're doing that. And so, but we don't want to let down our guard, you know, because obviously people who commit crime, criminals, they're looking for that open opportunity. And that's what a lot of crime is. They see something and take advantage of it, you know. So we have a percentage of people that, you know, I guess, you know, don't want to go out and work. They'd rather, you know, steal or commit a crime to get by. And we have a few of those. And so those are the ones that we want to keep our thumb on, keep an eye on. So thank you.
And then on the homicide, were the 2 from this year, last year solved? You guys made arrests in both cases?
We had, 2 homicides last year. One was in Parish. I think that's the Vaillant case where the wife and the teenage child. The other one was, at the tip of my tongue, I'm not sure about that.
Paul Frederick. Shooting on Paul Frederick.
Shooting on Paul Frederick, really not here in Old Luling. And I think we made both of those cases, made arrests in them. So we'd like to see no murders. Unfortunately, sometimes it goes on behind closed doors, and just like sexual assault, unfortunately. You know, we can't be everywhere, but the numbers are good. You know, the numbers are going down, and you know, we want to work to make them better. We can do anything to make them better. So thank you all very much. We appreciate the media representatives that have come today, and with that, we want to thank everybody again. Thank you, Mr. DA, and I'd like to thank my staff again, and all of our employees. So thank you very much. Good afternoon.